everyone's got to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Chris.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mary.
Hey, Diana,
Yes,
how's it feel to have a street named after you?
it's not named after me. I think Dave's sister's name. So it's pretend it's after me, but it's really not.
I would claim it.
As long as I don't have to clean it or anything, I'll claim it.
Is it in Ward 5?
No, it's in Ward 1.
Oh,
Okay. Should we start with the roll call of officers?
Yes.
Arthur Akers,
You're on mute.
here.
Phil Alvarado called and said he would not make it. Chair Jacutis,
Present.
Clerk Edwards present. Betty Gonzalez,
Actual parking lot, and you're noticing these cars are starting to come by. Some of that wash is spilling out over onto the street. We've also got some debris out in the roadway as well, and obviously debris.
Betty Gonzalez, is she here?
Down, that's going to be all across
No.
the area.
No. Okay. George Harvey,
Present.
Mary Joyner,
Present.
Carly McLean, Barbara Mann,
Present.
John Aldier,
It's easy to see how the wind can break some of those power lines down.
John,
We're continuing to monitor those conditions here in Sandwich Live this morning.
and if anybody has their TV on the background, could you mute?
This morning,
Please.
once again,
There we go. John, Richard Smith,
Here.
Joan Noble,
Here.
and Chris Gomez.
Here.
Thank you. Okay.
All right. So first on the agenda
Thank you for allowing me to watch.
is Chris Gomez.
Hello, everyone. Hello. So the RFP is out. It's in the newspaper again today on
Yeah, what's her?
the 20th and the 27th. The 20th, it was advertised in the Central Register, and I'm just gonna go through like the details of the RFP really quick. The Pre-Submittal Conference is November 17th at 10 a.m. The close of questions period is December 3rd by 12:30 p.m. All proposals are due by December 13th by 12 p.m. We'll begin reviewing the proposals on December 20th. And the selection of proposals will be late December, early January. And then the lease or purchase and sale execution date will be late January, early February. We'll be getting our lease in March or early April. So fingers crossed and knock on wood, we'll be in a place March or early April. And then some more updates on my end. The newsletter will be going out again in November. So we've been working on that. And I've been working with Dr. Tutwiler in the school department to start the intergenerational programming that I wanted to start between the seniors and the school kids. I think the first school we're going to do is at Lynn English. I have a meeting next week with Dr. Tutwiler and some of the other deputy superintendents and the principal of English so we can iron out some details, and then once everything is official, I'll get back to you guys. And I think it's going to be a really great program. The city hasn't had a program like that, and I think both generations can learn a lot from each other. As the kids can learn a lot from you guys and your experiences, you guys can learn some things from them, like technology-wise. They can teach you how to use your computers, laptops, get on Zoom and social media and things like that. So I think it's going to be a really great program. And then, so I've been looking into buying some vans for the senior center. I've gone to several places, and a lot of them they're on back order because there hasn't been new production with the chip shortage for the cars. But I think we'll have some vans soon, hopefully. And then there's a new program called Beyonder. I want to get your feedback on it. It's a program where basically you log on and there's a video, and these people are live. They're in all different parts of the world, and they're giving you a tour, and it's live, and you're right there, and you're watching everything they're going. They gave me a free tour. It was in Belgium. The guy's walking around Belgium, showing you all the historic sites, and it's a really cool program. I'm thinking about bringing it to the senior center. I just want to see some feedback, from you guys, see if you guys would like that. They can go anywhere you want, like Brazil. They have people stationed all over the world, and it's actually live. You can ask them questions, interactive, really cool program. So I'll see. I wanted to gauge you guys' interest in that as well. And I met with the ARPA compliance officer to see what funds would be aside for the senior center. And I think there's some good possibilities of a lot of things we can do with it. So that was another good thing. And yeah, Mass in Motion has these new grants that I'm applying for. It's so we're in the process of applying for 2 grants, which would also help the senior center a great deal.
Yeah.
They're not a great deal of money, but everything helps.
No. I'm in a meeting.
Please mute if you're talking, George.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. Just remember to mute. Sorry, Chris, go right ahead.
All right. And I've begun planning for the Thanksgiving event. So it was probably going to be at the YMCA, but they want a little bit more limited capacity than the cookout. So we're going to figure out a way that everyone has opportunity to go, and we could plan that after. We could talk after Pam and Diana or whoever wants to be a part of it. But we'll figure out an equitable way that everyone will get a chance to be a part of it. And then as far as the budget goes, right now the budget is my salary, and then the study with UMass Boston that they're conducting about the senior needs. So those are the only things on the budget right now. I mean, come January, probably around January, I spoke with Michael Bertino. I'll start looking for staff and stuff. So the budget will start changing most likely around January when I have these vans. So in January, we can start getting ready for the senior center, hopefully opening. We'll be looking at hiring staff and stuff. So, it's exciting news where the ball is rolling in the right direction. I believe in a lot of good things on the forefront. Any questions?
I have one question, Chris. That program you were talking about, visiting around the world,
Yeah.
in places, is that something they can do at the senior center, or is that something okay?
So it's like I'll sign into a computer, and then I'll put on a big screen or a smart board. Hopefully we'll have a smart board in the senior center, and then it'll play, and then everyone could watch from that screen.
Okay, no, that sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
Is there a cost for it, Chris?
Yeah, there's a cost. I can do like a subscription, like a yearly subscription, or you can do month to month, however you want. But it's really cool because you can kind of ask them what areas you want to see next. So we could vote internally, say, hey, next month we want to go see Brazil, or next month, any country. They have people all over the world, and it's very interactive. You can ask them questions. Oh, go by this place. I want to see you go. And he's wearing like a headpiece, and he's just walking around the cities and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions for Chris? He had a lot of information today. Joan?
Yeah, Joan?
Chris, is there any, I know you're talking about the future. What is in the immediate plan that we can go somewhere for the seniors to gather?
We were negotiating a place for the immediate, and it didn't work out. They came in and they gave us a really high price. we didn't think it was really fair because given what the city has done for them. And in the meanwhile, I'm just gonna have to do events at different places and do things. Because right now it's really hard to find a place to do anything. You know, Diane's been really gracious and helpful, letting us use Old Time a lot, and then the YMCA as well. But in the meanwhile, it's just gonna have to do events at different places. Like we're not gonna have like a home base. But you know, there's been a possibility of building a new place. We'll see.
So what you're saying is what you had thought might happen, did that fall through? And are we now depending on the RFP?
No, from what I think is gonna happen is I still think it's gonna happen. The RFP, we're in good standing, I would say. I think we have a couple of potential suitors. So I think we're not gonna be there till like March or April realistically. And until then, we're just gonna have to do things at different locations, and that's just the truth of what it is. I wish we could have a place, but right now it's just looking like March or April.
So basically you say we'll have pop-up events here and there, the whole time at the Y, if we can find somebody to let us host it. It's not going to be weekly, it could be monthly or every few.
We're not gonna have a place like everyday place yet.
And the monies from the American Rescue Act will still be there?
Yeah, those I believe they have to be spent by 2024. So it's time.
Anybody have any other questions for Chris?
I'd like to ask a question. I was just, what happened?
No.
I heard a whistle. I didn't know what happened. So, Chris, I would like to just have some clarification on the role of the Council on Aging Board officers in decision-making and planning events with the Director of Elders Affairs, yourself. What are our responsibilities of providing ideas, or are we part of the implement of these suggestions?
So my understanding is that the council agent, the board, you guys are like partners, but like we're supposed to help each other out. But the day-to-day stuff, I am the director of the senior center. So I run the senior center. We're partners, we help each other out, we give each other ideas and stuff. That's my understanding of the role of the board in terms with me as a director of the senior center. I mean, Jim or Pam could probably tell you better, but that's my understanding.
Okay, thank you.
I have a follow-up question regarding what you just mentioned. Based on your understanding, does the board serve as approving or agreeing with any initiatives that?
I think you broke up a little bit. I couldn't.
All right, can you hear me now? Let me turn up the volume. The question that did I lose you guys?
No, we're here.
Good now.
All right, hold on a second. All right, here you go. The question that George asked is very important. So I'm putting a follow-up question regarding what our oversight role is as the board. That do we have any say in agreeing, approving, or any initiatives that comes from your desk that concerns the Senior Citizen Center?
I think ultimately the decision is mine, but we are a partnership. Like I will listen to you guys. I'll take your advice as I would anyways, even if it wasn't in the charter or in the laws of it. But ultimately the decision is up to me, but I take everything into account. We're partners and we're in this together.
So basically, Chris, you're saying if you're planning an event or doing certain activities, you would listen to the board stating that we don't think the seniors really want this. We want something, and you would sit and work with us. Is that basically?
Yeah, we're supposed to be a cohesive unit together.
Working together. Okay.
Right.
If that was the case, so as far as making decisions and maybe trying to assist in making this event or any event a success, where do we play part in that, or do we not play part in that?
A lot of you guys have been in this board before. What were you doing before with Stacy?
Well, the thing is with Stacy that we would I remember I actually wasn't on the Lynn, I'm not on the council. I was with the Friends, and we would just give her. She would come in with some suggestions. We would give her some ideas, and then we would support wherever she needed our support. As those Friends, you know, whether it was just helping out with the event, or whatever it might have been. That she would give us the directions to help her.
I think Chris will get to that point with the help, everybody. Right now, can you guys still hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But right now, where we don't have a senior center, it's hard for Chris to say, okay, I need help with this. Somebody go do this, because he doesn't have one spot. Like the event on Friday, it's for the senior center, but Chris isn't hosting it. The Lynn City councilors are. And if somebody wants early to help, I don't mind. Anyone can come help. But right now, I think it's Chris's point is it's kind of hard to ask for help with an event when it's not our area. It's not our home. So he has to go by certain guidelines to wherever he's hosting an event. Not sure how early we can show up. Am I correct, Chris, on some of this?
Yeah, 100%. And, I'm willing to take help from anyone that's willing to help. I'm more than happy to take it because, a lot of times I run around and sometimes I lose track of things and I don't mind doing things myself. But if you guys are willing to help, it'll make things a lot easier for me because I usually, Diane's been very helpful. Norris helps me a lot, but I'll lose track and I'll just keep running around doing things. But if anyone's willing to help, I'll appreciate it and I'll take all the help. All the help is welcome.
Maybe once we got an event, maybe you can have a list, Chris. So if somebody was to call you, say, for instance, George calls and he wants to help maybe sell raffle tickets, you could probably just put that in your list knowing George is going to sell raffle tickets that day. What anyone is looking for help, at least start a list to say, okay, this is who's doing what. It might help you out.
That's what we did the last event we did at Old Time. Like George said he wanted to do the raffles. Mary joined us, said she wanted to help pass out the food. So I had everything written down, and that's kind of how it went.
Great.
But I think we're all stakeholders in the senior center. We all want it to be great. So we're all in this together. We're all one team. That's the way I see it.
Well, yeah. Just one last thing, and then I'll let it go. But so, for an example, the last event, so like suggestions from the board. I mean, if you'd have come to us to ask for suggestions, maybe what kind of food do you think that the seniors would like, or maybe wouldn't like, and just kind of get our input to try to help you make that part of the event a success. It's just throwing things out there for you, Chris. I mean, do we play any part in that at all?
Yeah, if you guys, I'm willing to take all the input you guys want. Whatever food you guys see that you guys want to eat. I mean, the foods that came last time, they were donated. So all those businesses that came, they're the ones that gave the food. So that's where we're at with that. But yeah, going forward, we can have discussions beforehand. But some events come up, like the Topsfield Fair wasn't planned. It was a spur of the moment.
No, right.
That
one went well.
Yeah, it went well. Some minor hiccups, but it went well. Yeah, it's a learning experience, and every time, every event was going to get a little bit better. But yeah, we're all in this together, and we can talk about events. We can jump on another Zoom before events happen and plan it out together. That's fine with me.
All right, thank you.
Anybody have a question, Chris?
I just had on the RFP process, and this might go to Solicitor Lamanna. So on the 20th, December 20th, whenever the bids are reviewed, can some people from the board be a part of the review process?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
Be part of it.
so I envision two layers of approval here. One, City Council Public Property Committee would be reviewing this on December 14th, and that's a regularly scheduled City Council meeting. I had plugged in December 20th as a date for the Council on Aging to have their first review, because that would be the regularly scheduled meeting in December. Now, I do have a recollection that perhaps you folks don't meet in December in the past. I think last year there may have been a December meeting, but my memory may be off. But I certainly would recommend right around the 13th of December, the Council on Aging convening some type of meeting, whether it's a regularly scheduled time or an off day, to make sure that their input is included. And I can say the purchasing office has received three requests for the RFP that I'm aware of right now. I haven't checked with Tim this week, so there is some interest, and hopefully that in the past, as you know, we got no bids. I am confident we're going to get at least one bid and perhaps multiple bids this time, and to that extent, it's very important for the Council on Aging to be able to evaluate bids as soon as possible to meet those timelines of a realistic March, April opening. The sooner that a site visit may be needed, review what needs to be done as far as a build out. That's really where the March, April date gets backfilled, is because there'll be some time period where the Council on Aging and the council and our financial team will have to crunch some numbers. Will need to be part of the process.
Okay, thank you. That's very helpful.
Thank you.
I have a question for everyone. If we were to do something at Pondview, what's your consensus? Do you think a lot of you guys would be able to get there, or would transportation be an issue?
It's Pondview.
Pondview is on Linfield Street.
I don't think it would be any more of an issue trying to get the seniors there as it is when they are able to get to Old Time. That's not an easy, usually they have to arrange transportation. Pondview would be the same situation. I think if they have the ride, or they have somebody friends who could pick them up, I think if you plan it, they will come.
You're right.
Listen, at this point, they're desperate. 2.5 years not being able to be with your friends, it's a tough situation. Until you're an elder in that position, I don't think anybody can appreciate it, what we've all gone through.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, so we could have a further discussion about that and see what.
I'm going to ask.
Set up a meeting, right, Pam and Diana? Mary, you have a question?
Mary has a question.
Where is Pondview?
Up on Linfield Street.
Linfield Street.
Briarcliff.
Oh, okay, Briarcliff. I know where that used to be. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, so I invited Norris Guscott. He's the new public health coordinator and the leader of the food security task force. He's a real asset for the city. He knows a lot about when it comes to food and fitness and everything. And I wanted you guys to meet him and just bounce any questions you have for him. He's very knowledgeable on like food and anything else, a lot of stuff with seniors. So Norris, if you want to introduce yourself.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for everyone on the council for having me this morning. As Chris was saying, I am Norris Duscott. I am the public health coordinator, or the deputy to the public health director, Michelle Demeyers there. So I'll be working with Chris on a whole host of issues, or not issues, but initiatives and projects. He was talking about some of the planning that's going on. Believe me, we have been speaking about different ways of getting the input from everyone. And as everyone has been saying, not to sound like a broken record, but all of that is really hard without like a senior center and like a home base. My other, as the leader of the Food Security Task Force, any and all food related questions, access, resources around that, funding, I'd be your person to come see. And also, there are other 14 organizations. I don't want to take up too much time of the call, more time of the call, but just know that I'm a resource. I'm here, and it is nice to meet you all.
Thank you, Norris.
I do have a question, Norris. I live at Kings Beach Towers, and we have a lot of homebound people. And when the regular shots, they came into the building. Are they going to be able to do that on the Moderna for the booster? Do you know? Have you heard anything on that?
Yes. So
These are all homebound people.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, they're all homebound people that I was asking about.
So right now, in regards to our booster and all like vaccine initiatives, the public health department is willing to we're eliminating barriers. So if we have to go to whichever residence, we'll do that. We'll work with whatever business to hold, vaccine clinics. So to answer your question, yes. And if it's not planned, you can email me or Chris, and we'll make sure that gets done ASAP.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Anyone have any other questions for Norris? All right. Norris, thank you for joining us today, and good luck.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you. All right. Next on the agenda was the last event at Old Time. What can we do to make it better or improve anything? Anybody have anything?
No, it was it's such a relief for seniors to have something like that. And I think that everything went well, and you're extremely gracious in offering this for the last couple of times. And I think it was a wonderful thing. And everybody that I spoke to before or after was very positive about it.
All right. We'll see how the next one goes, because it will be inside. I'm trying to keep people separated so everyone feels comfortable. And let's just see how this one goes, where we're in an enclosed space. I'm just going to try to have it so that everyone's kind of sitting down, that they're not wandering too much, and try to make it safe for everybody. But let's see how it goes inside, where I have a little smaller space in there. Anyone have anything to add to that?
I think everyone that was there, I agree with Barbara, had a wonderful time just being able, we thank you for the opportunity so that we can get together, because, social isolation is a huge, huge problem with seniors. So thank you, Diana, for offering.
You're welcome. Anytime. I told Chris, anytime he needs a space, he's more than welcome to use it. Let's see how it goes Friday, where we're going to be inside, and see if people still like it inside, but we'll see what happens. All right. Next.
I had the opportunity to meet Joanne, George, Mary, Diana, and Pam. I'm not sure I met Rich. Did I, Rich? Did I meet you?
No, I know I didn't meet you that day.
No, Richard Smitty.
Richard Smith.
Smitty.
Smitty.
Yeah, Richard. Richard, were you there at Old Time? Yeah.
Yep, I was there.
I think we talked, right?
Yep.
It was a pleasure, though. You know, I really enjoyed it.
Same here.
Even though I.
And he froze.
Yeah.
Yeah, peace.
Has a predominant role in terms of a meet and greet the seniors, especially we, the new members on the board, to be introduced to the seniors. Perhaps I would expect the director of Senior Citizen Center to do that introduction, you know, because we want to make sure that we are properly positioned so that they know for a fact that we are in conjunction and liaising and working in partnership with the director, and they have to put the face to the name so that nothing is missing at all. That is my own suggestion. I might be wrong, but I just feel any event that the Senior Citizen Center plans out and the board is going to be there, there should be a very formal introduction, meet and greet, and introduction, and just that partnership to be well established. That's what I think.
We can do that Friday for the Halloween party, whatever board members are there.
How do you want me to dress up like?
You can dress up. I'm not dressing up. I have a hat.
All right. No problem. That'll be good. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next on the agenda, the city web update information. Chris, you're working on that, correct?
Happen.
Yeah, everything's up to date.
Okay.
Yeah.
Took a lot of tries, but we finally got it. They got it up to date. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Thank you, Chris and Jim. And back to the old time event, you know, Chris, I know you reached out to have vendors there so that people could gather information, and everybody likes the giveaways, the free tchotchkes, even if it's a bag or something like that. So thank you for the work on that. And again, just to reiterate, you know, that day I would have rather been the one to go pick up the food and allowed you time to spend time with the seniors, you know. So just say, Pam, you go do it and I'll do it, or any of us with vehicles, because I would love for you to spend more time, you know, sitting down with the people and letting them get to know you, especially since we don't have a senior center where they can build that relationship.
Agreed. I agree with you 100%.
They know me. They don't need to sit down with me anymore.
Chris.
Yep.
I just want to tell you that hiccup you had at Topsville Fair. I know it was unplanned, that it was spare of the moment thing. It happens when you plan it a month ahead of time too. So
Yeah, I heard.
trust me, I have experienced it.
I heard that every Topsville Fair trip, they're waiting a couple hours for missing people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone have any other?
We got to get a rope and tie it to everybody's hands.
Beepers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think next on the agenda was the Senior Center RFP, which Chris basically went over, unless an Attorney Lamanna went over it. I think we're all set with that, unless anybody has any other questions on it.
No, just under new business, we should, I'd like to propose that we do set a December date as Solicitor Lamanna suggested.
Okay. We can do that. Okay. Next on the agenda is outreach to seniors in housing and in their homes.
Chris, he mentioned the newsletter was going to go out. So that's a great way to start reaching them.
Now, Chris, are you using that list, that big list you had?
Yeah, I'm working with Joan and Kay Brown. We're actually working to see who's still around on that list and updating it a little bit. So yeah, we're working on that as well. I mean, it's a very large list.
Yes, it is.
The list is very big.
And maybe we'll have a list out to Friday's newcomers, so
Yeah.
make sure their addresses. in their information. All right. Next, activities/services for seniors. Lynn, statement info. Would that be PM? What is that? Activities?
Well, I know that Chris mentioned it, Chris has planned and hosted 2 events with the city.
Yeah.
Sorry, the title. I just lost the title.
With Chris Gator.
Yeah, with Chris Gator. I can't think of his title right now. And so, you know, with the newsletter, I think that will be helpful too, to let people know what it is. I also had an email with Chris Gator to talk about some other options that other cities are doing for people 65 and over. And that would have to come from the city council, I believe, the way I understand it. So was thinking that we could, as the COA board, maybe ask one of the city councilors, and Councilor LaManna could maybe suggest which city councilor we should invite to talk about other potential help or relief for seniors, especially with certain incomes, to help offset the burden of the high tax rate. The tax rate is based on what one might potentially sell their home for. And most seniors do not want to sell their home. And so that rate does not mean one thing to them. They want to live there till their last breath. And so I think that we should look at it and, you know, especially people that have been paying senior property taxes for 30, 40 years, see what we could do for people, you know, 60, 65 and over on fixed incomes.
Okay.
I know.
So I guess.
I know. Speaking to Chris, I think his title is Director of Assessing.
There we go. Assessor's office. Thank you, Chris.
So
thank you.
This program is supposed to come out of the mayor's office. So, you know, come January, we'll have a new mayor. So these things, I don't know if we want to make like a board. You guys can meet coming once we know who the new mayor is, and you can begin talking to him about some of your interests, because those things are supposed to come from the mayor's office, and then they go to assessing, and then basically all these things, they come from the state level. It's a formula from the state level, and then they're brought down. So if you guys maybe come November, mid-November, December, we can try to set something up and I'll meet and see what we can do.
I know that me and the seniors I've spoken to would like that. I'll refer to the homeowners here on the board.
Pam, what is the question again?
Chris is saying that about my thing about us, Lynn, looking at some potential relief for senior property homeowners. And Chris is saying that, you know, once the new mayor is in office, whoever that might be, we would have a group of us maybe form a committee to talk with the mayor and the assessor to see maybe what language Lynn could adopt.
Oh, okay.
To help senior homeowners with some relief on their property tax.
Yeah. But that would be strictly based on your income too, wouldn't it? Would it be
Depends. It depends. Not all cities do. Like for instance, in let's say Malden, it's based on your age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that might be something that I'd like to participate in. If it's based on the age and not the income.
Right. Well, even the income ones, Mary, they're quite high. Some cities have it all the way up to 120,000 a year, and you still get it.
Well, sign me up.
Yeah. Okay. So it's what we feel that would bring the biggest relief to the Lynn seniors. So.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how that is going to play.
John froze again.
Citizens on my street. And that conversation that you mentioned, Pam, came up. And one major thing that the husband talked about is income, and that they won't be qualified for certain benefits based on their fixed, even on their fixed income that they receive. So, I mean, if we are going to be talking with the new mayor come 2022, yeah, we'll see how that is going to play out. But Lynn is becoming much more cosmopolitan in terms of giving some tax relief to seniors who have high income. So I don't know how that is going to play out, but we will see. I have a question for Chris, though. Mr. Chris,
Yep.
regarding event activities for senior citizens. Now, somebody mentioned about flyers and all that. How do we advertise or use LCTV to broadcast and put these events out so that, because I know some citizens will be watching that TV as well. Do we have that partnership with them?
Yes, we can. I have a really good friendship with Mukala, who is I believe he's the director of LCTV. And okay. I've gone on several times for interviews, and we do interviews. And usually when we have events, it goes on the Senior Center Facebook page, the city website, the mayor's page. Sometimes we'll put in a newspaper, but that costs. There's a cost associated with doing it in the newspaper. But the newsletter will be, I think, will be a great source going forward, because most seniors read that the most compared to like social media or things online. So, but that is a possibility to do things on LCTV as well.
2-3 weeks, I visited their website to see if that some events are posted. So if we can partnership with them to see how they can assist, I mean, that would be great help, because the newsletter or the flyers, the senior citizens might just toss it out, but they go on that TV, they watch the programs there. So it would be a good outlet for us to
I agree. I mean, every outlet that we can use will be valuable to get the most seniors we can involved.
All right.
I also go on Gliss TV. They do stuff like once a month, and I go on there frequently as well to give updates, and we do stuff on their stuff as well.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I think Mr. Richard has his answer.
Chris.
Yep.
Would it be feasible to have a sign-up sheet for the newsletter on Friday?
Yeah, we can do that. I want to do like a sign-up sheet anyway, so some of the new people, we can get them into the system. And for the newsletter, I have the mailing list for the newsletter. That's what we're really working on to see who's still around or who moved away or who unfortunately passed. So I have the mailing list already.
Is it gonna be in bilingual?
Yeah.
Good.
Any other questions? Okay, move on to the next one, which is Halloween party on Friday. We're having a Halloween party Friday.
Hey.
We're going to have activities there. There's going to be entertainment. We have a singer there. We are going to do some prizes. We're doing ziti meatballs for the meal. We're going to have dessert. We're going to have some raffles. I'm going to do some sign-in sheets. So hopefully it will be a great time for everybody. If anyone has any questions, if anybody wants to help, they're more than welcome to come early. Come down. I'll always find something for somebody to do. If anyone has any suggestions, but where it's inside, I was just trying to keep it a little more simple. Where outside we could roam around a little more instead of having everyone up walking around. can get up and walk around, but I'm just trying to keep it safe where this is our first time inside with the big group. So if anybody has any questions or anything, let me know. Anyone wants to volunteer, come in early, feel free to. I'll be here. I'll have the back door open probably by 9 o'clock. But you don't have to come that early.
They don't tell them.
I might still be half asleep as I'm standing there, but hey, yeah. But if anyone have any questions on that?
I'm coming with Kathy, so we'll be there early.
I know you'll be early. Don't worry about it. All right. Next on the agenda is Friends of the Council of Aging, which is Joe Noble.
Yes, I would just like to report that I have acknowledged all donations, and we've been fortunate because somebody signed us up with PayPal or FundMe. They really don't distinguish who the donor was or who the donation was from. So, but I was not able to send a thank you or acknowledgement as I normally do. But anytime that anyone donates to the Friends, I do send an acknowledgement letter. And I also would like to say that the Friends funded some of the people for their admission to the Topsfield Fair. Now, because we have no place to meet, what I do before we make any decisions, I did get on the phone and I got the approval of everyone on the Council on Aging membership list that we would do that. And Chris did present our treasurer with the receipt from the admissions at Topsfield Fair, so we were able to take care of that. So even though we can't meet, we're still trying to keep in touch with each other, and we really don't do anything on our own. We go to the full membership to get the approval. And I have been in touch, Chris and I have been in touch, and we have been trying to work together to get some semblance of order to the list, the senior list, the database list. So, and it was a pleasure that I was able to meet with Norris also, so they know that we are there to help.
Thank you, Joan, and thank you for offering the cost for the Topsail Fair. That was great of the Friends. We really appreciate it. Anybody have any questions for Joan? No? You got off easy today, Joan.
Thank you.
All right, next is new and old business here. And I know I'm on here. Contact Stacy, not going to be honest. I did contact her this morning. I keep forgetting. So I did text Stacy this morning. Just waiting to hear back. I asked if we could meet one day next week. So once I hear from her, and I'll sit down and let everybody know what's going on, or if she has any ideas for funding. Anybody have any questions for me for that? But I have no answers yet. All right. Next on the agenda is North Shore Medical Transportation Policy to Linfield and Salem.
Just the fact that we just need to help promote this within, especially the senior community, for those who don't drive or unable to drive. So if Chris doesn't mind, this might be a good thing to add into the newsletter. And I believe that we can get some kind of PDF or something like that that has like the information or the number in, just to help that get the word out so that people know what services are offered at Linfield, and then also how to get a hold of that ride aspect.
Ian, is that something that's in a flyer already that we could pass out on Friday or no?
I made a quickie, just a Word document that had it, because they couldn't be there at the event that day, their outreach person. But I'll try to see what I can come up with between now and then.
If not, we'll just ask Chris to put in the newsletter, but just something I was thinking if we could.
No, that's good. Anywhere where we can get the word out, I think is helpful.
We have it hanging downstairs in the lobby.
Yeah, we don't have anything here. So if you could send something to me, I'll get it down
Sure.
to the office.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions regarding that?
Excuse me?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Diana cut out.
Yeah.
Any other questions regarding transportation?
I know, I think me, Pam, and Smitty were part of the focus groups that were kind of talking about that. So I know they're trying to put a focus on it somewhat. We'll see if it improves or not, but.
Yeah, that's the only way I knew about it, is that we
Yeah.
got invited to be part of the focus group, or I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And I brought the subject up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next, sorry. I'm
No,
skipping
no,
ahead.
you know what? I don't know if this is the right time to bring this up, but regarding seniors, you know, I have a lot of people come to me for assistance and helping them, like, book a ride. With all the prompts, you know, they either don't understand what they're being asked to do, or they don't know how to do it. You know, as being elderly, how do we fix that? How can we get that so that it's a simpler process? That's a tough one, huh?
Yeah,
You know, everything is on the.
George, what do you have to do? Do you have to call, or is it on the computer that you have to ride?
No, when you call the book the ride, okay, you call and right away it's an answering machine. You know, it's a robotic. You know, press 1 for this, press, you know, and I know several people here that are really having a hard time understanding what they should be doing, or because it's hard for me to. It's their language. They don't understand what's being asked to do. You know.
Well,
it's not like if it was a.
I can say this, George. George, I can tell you this because of Mass Senior Action's work on lowering the cost of the ride. We've gained respect from the MBTA, and they have sent us a notice that they have broke the contract with their current dispatch company, and they're going to be in transition. And these are some of the things that the reason that they broke the contract was because of seniors not only having trouble with just the ride itself being picked up and that kind of thing, but the system.
Yeah.
So Mass Senior Action could, you know, forward that to them. They've got the RFP is going out for them to find a new dispatch, and we could ask them to put that in, you know, to have that in consideration whenever they're planning this.
Yeah, because, and I think a lot of it is too, is, you know, with the hearing aids, you know, it's just they're not hearing things correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Are some of them taking like ride sharing apps, or is it all like the ride?
I'm mostly talking. Yeah, I'm only talking about the ride. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Pam, you're going to contact them through Mass Senior Action to see if they could add anything to make it a little.
As they're looking for their new dispatch company.
All right.
To see, you know, to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
And if you have any suggestions, George, that you think that might be helpful, just send me an email or call me.
Yeah, okay.
Any other questions? All right. Next on the agenda, we're getting to the end, heating cost. So that's basically, now when you put this on, Pam, are you looking at what's out there for the seniors for help for the heating?
Yes, there's the current system that's out there, but what's really scary is the price of oil right now. And so there are folks that are going to be struggling with this cost. And, you know, there was a person on the news, not from Lynn, but, you know, a senior that was saying that she just calls her oil man and says, put in $100 or put in 150. And when that runs out, it's out. And she has gone without food and without medicine. And, you know, I think that we need to have this on the front burner for the COA board to think about this. And then the cost of electric for a lot of seniors. Now, I do know, working personally with them, many have not even had like the free assessment where they will come and let you know, maybe how you could save electricity somewhere else so that your heat isn't so bad, or save, this way with your oil heat and things like that. So maybe if we promote some of the tools that are out there to help offset it. And as Norris said, and Chris said, maybe if they could get their food in a different avenue that is much cheaper or free, then they could afford their oil. But I think that we have to have a whole umbrella approach to this until we,
So
the government takes control over some of these necessary items and quits letting it be a capitalist decision. But so I think that we need to have information out there about what's available. Are you struggling with your oil or heat? Contact Mass Save and let them come and do a free evaluation at your house. If don't decide, don't choose between heat or food. Contact Norris if you're struggling to pay your costs for your food, that kind of thing. And I know at GLIS, seniors can get in a program that helps them with money management at GLIS, which, people will say, well, if you don't have any money, it's not hard to manage it, because I don't have any to manage. But, if we can, take some of the costs down on one thing that folks are having to pay, it might offset what they're struggling with in the winter.
I'm sure prescription's one of them. I mean, prescription medication.
Yes.
Yes. Good, I'm happy you brought this up, Pam, because I'm meeting next week with Amanda Formica. She's a senior analyst at National Grid. And there's a lot of programs that I'm going to be applying for, grants and stuff, to try to subsidize some of the heating costs. So they have some interesting things. I'm meeting with her next week. I'm seeing what Lynn could qualify for and what are the potential opportunities we can get. So maybe in the newsletter, I'll write a little update if we have one in regards to that, but definitely by next month's meeting. So, it's a possibility we could have some programs that could really help some of you out there. So I'll have more information after next week. When it comes
that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Thanks, Chris. It's a concern many are worried about as the, days start getting colder.
And another thing, next November 4th, next Thursday, GLIS is having a brown bag event. So I'll be there. I don't know if any of you knew about it already, but they're going to be giving away some food and stuff. Should be a really good event as well.
Where is that, at GLIS?
Yeah, GLIS on Silsby Street.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And Chris, what's the time of the brown bag? I forget what time. Do you know?
1 to 3. 1 to 3.
Oh, okay.
Anybody have any other questions? Next was the COA budget, what Chris basically gave us information. Anybody have any questions on that for him?
I would just like to say that, I know that we don't have a building or anything, but at the COA board, the board was presented with the budget so that we would know, not only how much we have to spend, but also, what we need to advocate for. So if we could have, what the line items are and, the money that came from the state, the money that came from the city, what went out, that would be helpful in a budget form.
So Chris, maybe you could have something like that for us?
Yep.
Okay. You can get that probably, well, you have it, Mike Pacino or Steve Spencer would have.
Yeah.
Anyone have any other questions on the budget for Chris? We're just going to look for an itemized bill, an itemized spreadsheet for us for the next meeting. All right, so last thing is the date for the RFP. So basically, Pam, we're looking to go over the RFP, but not during a meeting, maybe. Actually, Attorney Lamanna, are you still here? Did Jim sign off? I'm on my phone, so I can't tell.
No, I don't see him.
Okay.
I think he's off.
I'm going to ask him. I'm not sure if it's the same as the council. If anyone's interested, maybe we'll do a Christmas party. I know every year we do Council of Aging. We used to do a Christmas party. If it's something, if we did it early in the month, if we could look it over during the party and discuss it, or if that's I'm not sure if it's the same as the council as an open meeting law, so I have to find that out from him.
Mm-hmm.
I think the review of the proposals is done in Tim Leonard's office in purchasing.
Okay. But when they get, okay.
Mhm.
All right, I'll talk to him and what a date we pick, how many people can be in there, and then we present it to the board after.
Should we tentatively set aside December 13th? What day is that? Let me see. That's a Monday.
Monday. Okay.
As long as it's not Friday.
Yeah. So let's just December 13th, and I would just need it at noon or later.
Okay.
I want to be involved in that.
You don't, or you do?
Do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would too.
All right. All right, does anybody have any other questions for this meeting, from this meeting today? I will say, Chris, you had a lot of information for us today. We'll go over a bunch of stuff. We'll have sign-in sheets and new sheets for new people that come on Friday. And we'll just keep working with Chris. If we have any information, if he gets anything, just let us know. Anybody have anything to add? No?
You guys have anything you want to add to the newsletter or anything you think would be good? Feel free to email it to me.
The only thing I want to mention is that my name is listed under NAMM, N-A-M-M, instead of M-A-N-N. So if you could fix that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
And I did get a phone call from a person that attended the senior center almost daily. And she was wondering if the COA board and the director would consider offering a trip to the aquarium in Boston.
Quack, quack.
Yeah, definitely.
That's Chris, something you can look into.
Yeah, definitely.
How about Chris?
You have to be back here at a certain time so we don't lose anybody.
Don't want to get them lost in Boston.
No, and I know it's so hard with buses right now that we're having an issue with the bus going to stop on Tuesdays. That one week it didn't show up. It's been late. And I know a few bus companies have said the only difficult part with tours now, if you're going anywhere, is is not back at this time, the bus has to leave because they don't have enough drivers. That bus has to be on another route. So that's something we're really going to have to enforce if you do something, because the bus has to leave now. They can't sit around used to waiting. So it's something we really need to work out. Say, okay, if not, you'll be behind in Boston with your own little group taking the train back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had to call the National Guard to drive the school buses in Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the person that went missing in Topsfield doesn't even have a phone. So, but it's all that ends well, right, Smitty?
Yep.
Yeah.
I know that. Did anybody think about having a Christmas light tour? You don't have to get out of the bus. You don't have to leave. Nobody's gonna go nowhere.
Yeah, Diane brought it to my attention, and we're definitely going to be doing the Christmas light tour.
Nice. Did anybody have anything else to add to this meeting today? All right. Well, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion.
All right. And we'll see everyone at the next meeting. We'll see everyone on Friday.
Okay.
Heidi.
Thank you.
Thank
All right.
Take care, everybody.
you. You too. Have a great day.
Yeah, that's a great question, because I think it's really important for us to understand how inclusionary zoning works. What we're saying is that we need to get into the weeds of the financial models for these developments. This is how other cities have been able to develop ordinances that have successfully created affordable units using inclusionary zoning. So that means we're not coming in with the predetermined percentage before doing the market analysis of what the right percentage is for an inclusionary zoning ordinance, but we're doing a real market analysis for what is going to allow for the creation of units. Because remember, if we're talking about inclusionary zoning, we're saying we're taking a percentage of private development. And so if the ordinance is set up in a way that makes it uneconomical to do any development, then you end up not creating any affordable units. If you try to say that 40% of units are going to be affordable and no new units were built, 40% of zero is zero. And so this analysis is really important and is going to be the foundation for being able to draft an ordinance like this. Now, what's important is that we have developers at the table, but we're also able to talk to independent experts who have the access to this kind of market data. Now, the Metropolitan Area Planning Council is one of those groups that has the capability to do that kind of analysis. That's the group that helped us write the Housing Lynn Plan. They've been involved in the drafting of other successful inclusionary zoning ordinances. And so we're able to get the feedback from developers and bring them to the table, but not rely entirely on the numbers that they're giving us. The role of government is to be there at the table on behalf of the people, so that we have an opportunity to really pressure test these numbers about saying what can make money and what can't. Because of course there is a line. No one's saying that there's not a point at which you're going to threaten the viability of development by asking too much. What we're saying is that Lynn is at a point where we need to be having that conversation to make that ask and find where the line is. Because the city is changing. Rents are skyrocketing, and that is making development more economical. That's why you're starting to see these projects go. And we need to have the confidence to